It's the ruling that's shaking up gun ownership rights across America. You won't believe the implications of this Supreme Court decision and how it's rewriting the future of concealed carry laws. Something huge has just unfolded in the legal world. The old way of doing things, the bureaucratic red tape, and the restrictions on your constitutional rights, they're gone. The Supreme Court just handed down a ruling that changes everything. Gone are the days of waiting for permits or dealing with convoluted laws. This isn't just another ruling. It's the beginning of a new era. The court's 6-3 decision, handed down today, isn't just about one single law. It goes deeper, striking at the core of how states restrict your right to carry. This isn't a minor tweak. This is a legal revolution. And it's already sending shockwaves through state capitals, leaving lawmakers scrambling to adapt. But why does this matter so much? Because the court made a clear statement. Your right to carry does not need to be begged for. It's guaranteed by the Constitution, and now it's being enforced like never before. Chapter 1: The Game-Changing Ruling. In a decision that will go down in history, 6 justices ruled in favor, 3 against. The message was clear. The Constitution is paramount, and rights are not privileges that need to be granted. It was a blow to the states that have spent years trying to control gun ownership through convoluted laws. The decision echoes a powerful message for courts nationwide. Follow the Constitution, or face the consequences. Now, let's break this down. The ruling directly challenged a state law that required citizens to apply for permits to carry a handgun in public. The justices ruled that this requirement violates the very essence of the Second Amendment. Carrying a firearm should never depend on the whims of local officials. The court made it clear, if the Constitution guarantees it, it doesn't need a permission slip. Chapter 2: The Permit System Trap. Now, how did we get to this point? To understand this ruling, we need to go back in time, way back. The permit laws we've seen in the past weren't created with public safety in mind. They were a method of control, aimed at disempowering certain groups. After the Civil War, Southern states enacted laws to disarm African Americans. In the early 20th century, laws like New York's Sullivan Act were designed to prevent immigrants and working-class citizens from owning firearms. Over the years, these laws morphed into a system that made gun ownership a challenge for the average citizen, with high fees, subjective standards, and bureaucratic roadblocks. The ruling we just saw calls that entire system into question. Because rights aren't privileges, they're guaranteed. Chapter 3: The Bruin Precedent. This ruling didn't just happen out of nowhere. It builds on the 2022 Bruin case, where the court said no more balancing tests. If a law isn't rooted in the history of the Constitution, it's unconstitutional. It's as simple as that. For the first time in decades, judges can no longer justify unconstitutional laws by claiming public safety. They must ask, does this law have a precedent in the time of the founders? If it doesn't, it's out. Chapter 4: The Legal Aftershocks. The decision has sent states scrambling. Some states are trying to adapt their laws to fit the new reality. Others, especially those with a history of anti-gun sentiment, are digging in their heels. But these efforts are already facing massive legal challenges. California tried to rewrite its laws by expanding sensitive places where guns could be banned. But even this move is facing pushback, with lawsuits quickly following the ruling. The ripple effects of this decision are already being felt in state capitals and courtrooms across the country. Chapter 5: States resist but lose ground. If you thought anti-gun states would simply roll over, think again. They're fighting tooth and nail, attempting to maintain control through tactics like imposing additional insurance requirements and expanding sensitive zones. But the problem for them is simple. None of these laws have any historical precedent. These new laws are already being challenged in courts, and this time, the courts can't use old excuses to justify them. The message has been sent loud and clear. You cannot deny a right just because you fear it. Chapter 6. A new legal framework. This ruling isn't just about one case. It's a new standard for all Second Amendment cases moving forward. The court has now laid out a bright-line test for evaluating gun laws: text, history, and tradition. If a law doesn't fit this framework, it's unconstitutional. For judges, this means no more inventing rules or allowing political pressure to influence decisions. It's a return to first principles. And for gun owners, it means that outdated laws are now on borrowed time. Chapter 7. The immediate impact on you. What does this mean for you? Well, for one, the days of navigating confusing permit systems are over. More states are moving toward recognizing your right to carry freely, and that means traveling with your firearm is getting easier too. No more worrying about getting caught in a legal trap during a traffic stop. Carrying legally is now presumed lawful. You're no longer at the mercy of local officials who can deny you the right to carry based on arbitrary criteria. Chapter 8. The political backlash. Of course, no big ruling comes without opposition. Some lawmakers are already pushing new restrictions, and the fight is far from over. The political battle is just beginning. The next few years are going to be crucial. Gun owners will need to remain vigilant because the fight for their rights is far from over. But for now, the Supreme Court's ruling has tipped the scales in favor of liberty. Chapter 9. What's next? What happens now? The ruling is just the beginning. Laws that have been in place for years are now vulnerable to challenge, and the floodgates are open for legal battles that could reshape the entire landscape of gun rights in America. The fight for gun rights is just beginning, but we are standing on solid constitutional ground. Chapter 10. A turning point in history. In every generation, there are moments that redefine the course of history. This ruling may very well be one of those moments. It's not just a victory for gun owners, it's a victory for everyone who believes in the unassailable rights guaranteed by the Constitution. The message is clear. The right to bear arms is no longer negotiable. It's a return to the founding principles of America. And this battle? It's just getting started.